Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, and students. Today I will be talking about my experience during my practicum at the Out of the Rain shelter. I will highlight the key PHSP knowledge values I developed during my practicum and summarize my biggest takeaways from both the BA program and my practicum. Before starting, I'd like to acknowledge the unceded territorial lands of the Lekwungen people on whose traditional territory the university stands, and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Masanic peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. For my practicum, I worked with the Out of the Rain shelter located in Victoria, BC. The shelter supports youth aged 15 to 25 through the rainy season of October to April. Although the shelter is only open at night, providing a hot meal and a bed, the shelter workers support the youth in whatever ways they can. They assist individuals with finding housing, employment, and educational opportunities, as well as counseling, rehabilitation, and mental health services. My role at my practicum was to chair a new project devoted to building a resource bank for youth. The resources include up-to-date information on the various services available to youth in the Greater Victoria area. The materials are educational and accessible in helping youth better navigate the system, providing information in clear, comprehensive terms. The problem that the staff and I identified is the need for accessible resources for youth. Approximately 20% of the people experiencing homelessness in Canada are between the ages of 13 to 25. However, not all services cater to youth. For youth without internet or a phone, it can be difficult to access up-to-date information on the various services available. A story that has stuck with me throughout my practicum was shared to me by my supervisor. One morning, she was working with a youth, supporting them in finding health-related services. She quickly checked the hours for the Victoria Youth Clinic, and after reading online that it was open, sent the youth on their way. When the youth arrived at the clinic, they were informed by staff that the clinic was not accepting drop-ins, something that pre-COVID was standard to the clinic. This form of barrier can be frustrating and leave the youth feeling disempowered. More, it can potentially discourage them from accessing supports in the future. This is a prime example of how information regarding services is unclear and how ineffectiveness can be a barrier of its own. The PHSP knowledge areas that supported me through my practicum were health and community systems navigation and facilitation of health literacy and self-care, which I will elaborate on during this presentation, along with knowledge translation and communication, and finally, cultural safety and competence. Together, these knowledge areas created a foundation for which the project was built on. Providing health and community systems navigation was the leading goal of the project. It can be very challenging to navigate everyday systems, more so in a time of COVID. Even when the steps are laid out, delivery is often confusing, using a level of language that would assume the applicant is familiar with the system. Take income assistance, for example. From start to finish, it took me over 2 hours to properly understand and work through the basic application. There are several forms that need to be completed prior to applying for assistance, each with their own steps and requirements. Another key goal of the project was to create resources catered to the health literacy skills of the youth. In order to provide clear navigation of these systems, it's important that research and data was collected and presented with health literacy in mind. In working with homeless youth, it's essential that information be delivered using simple, non-medical language to ensure the message is received. According to a study done by the Physician Assistant Education Association, patient-friendly educational materials should be written at a 4th to 6th grade level and limited to no more than 2 messages at a time. I applied this knowledge to my designs by presenting key ideas using bullet points, so not to overcomplicate the process. To highlight important information, I italicized and bolded key words to further guide the reader. Along with the PHSP knowledge areas, my work was driven by the following key concepts and skills: community-based approaches to research and knowledge development, interprofessional and multidisciplinary approaches to practice and research, and partnerships with people and populations served. Empowering the youth in providing input and decisions that affected their lives encouraged support for those decisions, overall increasing their trust and confidence in the health and community systems. At Out of the Rain, shelter staff have strong relationships with the youth and provide a safe space for honesty and growth. The staff work collaboratively with the youth to find optimal methods of support. The youth are included at all stages of the process and have agency in making decisions. Rather than providing an answer, shelter staff present youth with several options to choose from. I could speak for hours on the insights and knowledge I have gained throughout my time in the program. However, the following are what I believe to be the 3 key features in providing quality care. First and foremost, it is important to always consider the social determinants of health. In this model, health is considered to be the result of a collective community rather than the consequences of individualistic behaviors. Social determinants are shaped by the distribution of money, power, and resources, which cause health inequalities within populations. This model bridges the gap between Western models of health and holistic models like that of wise Indigenous health practices. Second, there is a need for collaboration and teamwork. Collaborative care is highly effective as it draws from the ideas and knowledge of various backgrounds. In order to establish culturally safe services, there is a need for the development of community-based approaches in which community members have agency in their own health. This ensures any and all care is catered to their unique needs. Lastly, there's a need for passion on behalf of employees. Working in community services, especially in the nonprofit sector, passion is what truly drives employees. Working alongside such hardworking, passionate individuals at the Out of the Rain shelter inspired and motivated my work and taught me that we all have more than 100% to give. Before I conclude, I'd like to give my thanks and appreciation to those who have supported me throughout my time in the BA program. Thank you to all my professors for their time and patience, to Natalie and Betty for their support through these final months, to my supervisor Jen for her guidance and for being my biggest cheerleader, and finally, to my peers who continue to inspire me every day. I look forward to seeing where your careers take you. Thank you.